Graduation night celebration ends in tragedy, but now a mother is fighting to make a change.
WJTV's Candace Coleman shares the story of Mississippi State track star Kaelin Kersh, who died in a crash, and how a piece of legislation might keep others from meeting the same fate.
After 4 hard-working years as a student athlete, on May 5th, 2017, Kaelin Kersh walked across the stage in Humphrey Coliseum in Starkville to finally receive her bachelor's degree. Little did her family know that would be Kaelin's final accomplishment they would witness.
She never really missed a day of running. She would be there and she would run through that wall no matter if she was struggling and it was hard.
With a world-class record-holding runner for a father, Kaelin was destined to run. George Kersh recalls one of the first times his baby girl stepped foot on a track.
They used to have me in the Coliseum, she would run. I think our first run up in the Coliseum, she failed and got back up and kept running.
She would sharpen her skill and go on to win a state title for Pearl High School, help the MSU track team win the 2016 Alabama Relays, and run with 2 relay teams the following year. But Kaelin was more than a runner.
Kaelin's smile just brightened the room. And so from a little girl all the way up into adulthood, that's what everyone knew Kaelin by.
Tony Kersh recalls graduation night, the last time she saw her daughter smile.
I still see her standing there like, what's taking you so long?
The 22-year-old, like many college graduates, was anxious to say goodbye to family and celebrate her kinesiology degree with friends.
You know, we were talking, and the one thing that echoes in my mind is she said, you know, you'll be glad when I come home.
Kaelin would not make it home.
Now he's doing 97. No lights, no sirens, engaged.
Sunday, May 7th, around 1:20 a.m., Highway Patrolman Kyle Lee sped east on Highway 182. The details of that night laid out in this traffic report.
It had been reported to him that there was someone who appeared to be a drunk driver whose car had left the road, but that person was hiding in the woods trying to avoid receiving a DUI. And so it wasn't a life-or-death situation, certainly not anything that required him to speed at all.
Trooper Lee's rush to get to that scene cost Kaelin's life. She was in the back of her friend's Toyota Corolla when they pulled out of the Shell gas station. Seconds later, Lee's patrol car crashed into the back seat. Kaelin was the only one who didn't survive. The accident report filed by Highway Patrol says he was going 68 miles per hour in the 45 speed limit zone.
Which, of course, would have had to have been self-reported by him.
I was mad because I felt like, well, I knew at the time they were being dishonest. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Highway Patrol officers in that area.
The dash cam recorded Lee at 100 miles per hour right before the impact, contradicting the report.
If his lights are on, if his siren's on, if he applies the brakes, those light up.
According to the dash camera system, even when the car's headlights entered the highway, Trooper Lee didn't brake, and he never warned other drivers of his speed with lights nor a siren.
I could either lay here and be a victim or get up and be an advocate for my child.
Less than 2 weeks after burying her daughter, Tony Kersh got to work on the Kaelin Kersh Act, or House Bill 1202. It requires emergency vehicles, including law enforcement, to use their lights when going 30 miles over the speed limit.
My issue is not with law enforcement. My issue is with the officer, because he made a conscious decision that night to get in his car, to buckle his seatbelt, to start it up, and to put his foot on that pedal and push it to go 100.
Per a 2014 memo on speeding, troopers are already expected to use their lights wisely.
Even when responding to emergency, they have to drive with due regard for the safety of others, and they should sound the signal, bell, siren, or exhaust whistle.
They ought to be, I think, cognizant of the fact that a wreck happened that could have been avoided if lights were flashing.
Representative Gary Chisholm authored the bill. Here's how he says Highway Patrol leaders responded to it.
They've really said that you know, that might be something that they in the future might make as a regulation. But we're going to encourage it along.
We reached out to the Highway Patrol to talk about the bill, the crash, and Trooper Lee's employment. We haven't gotten a response. Now, the Kershes and the family of Taniqua Alexander, who was the front seat passenger, have filed a lawsuit against the Mississippi Highway Patrol. The Kaelin Kersh Act is currently on the House floor waiting for a vote. Tony Kersh says if it doesn't move on, she will try again next session. Candace Coleman, WJTV 12.